the hospitality industry is one that has involved a lot of money. A lot of people have been investing in this. And we have someone who is here to talk about hospitality and tourism. I asked, who is this man? And the person said, someone said to me, he's the best person to talk to when it regards hospitality here in Nigeria. I'm seated with Anthony Shisher, the MD of Fahrenheit. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so someone said you're actually the best person to talk to about hospitality in the whole of Nigeria.
That's very flattering and very humbling, but yeah, I have an opinion on those.
Okay, so now let's talk about hospitality. We know that hospitality covers a broad spectrum of things, but I want to bring it down here to Nigeria. How well have Nigerians been reacting? How well have Nigerians been accepting the business of hospitality?
I think it's exploded over the last period of the last 2 years that I've been involved. I think that the whole sector has exploded. I think that people have seen the financial gains, but I also think that the service deliveries increased dramatically. I think Nigerians are very well traveled. They are exceptionally well versed in international service trends. I think the interesting thing is how those international service trends are now becoming localized service trends.
Okay, so now how is our relationship, the relationship between the travel agencies as well as, for example, I would like to say hotels, because we know that hospitality goes beyond hotels, it goes into lodging, it goes into a lot of things. So now the relationship, we've been hearing of issues between travel agency and hotels. How well can we rate the improvement of these relationships? Because we know people want to travel and they want to ensure that their hotel is properly covered as well as their trips and everything. Has that improved over time?
You know, the travel agencies are always sitting in a very dominant market because an international traveler or a regional traveler would be far more secure in booking everything through one portal or one individual, and that gets passed on to the hotels. So by doing that, the travel agencies actually take a large commission, which then dilutes the income that go back to the hotels. So that relationship is always going to be slightly strained. The traffic numbers that are coming through travel agencies to hotels is pretty consistent. The interesting thing is that the online travel agencies are far more aggressive than the actual office travel agencies. The packages that are actually they're actually put together for the online travel agencies are becoming far more diverse. So you can book your car, your hotel, your everything. So it's more like an online concierge service. Those are good and bad for the hotels themselves because it removes some of the opportunities for the hotels to actually make money off their clients. However, the hotels also don't help the situation because the hotels allow the guests to actually spend outside the facility's walls. Now, the hotels do that because pretty much they increase their prices to try and gain as much income as they can on the one hit, on just on their room rate or just on their room charge.
Speaking of increasing of prices, is it safe to say that the hotels these days do not cater to the needs of the common man? Because we see a lot of hotels coming up these days, and their prices are outrageous. Even with regards to events planning, you want to get a hall, you can't afford to pay. Could we say that it doesn't appeal to the common man?
Well, you know, hotels are a luxury product, plain and simple. Any space within a hotel is a revenue stream. So the hotels try and maximize every ounce that they can get out of it. Nigeria as a whole, from a room rate perspective, is definitely on the high side. But it's built because we don't have the infrastructure to supply constant power, water supply, just general infrastructure. And that just adds on costs onto your day-to-day operation. By doing that, obviously your room rate has to increase. So there's a shift in the whole direction. I think a lot of hotels are now looking at how they can reduce their room rate and get people to spend within the compound, and that strategy actually does work because then your other minor operating departments, your food and beverage, your conferencing, your boardrooms, that sort of thing, start to actually generate a better amount of income. Okay.
So now, if I want to go into events, I want to go into hotel packaging, for example, I want to open a hotel. I could get scared. Looking at here in Nigeria, we have tons of hotels opening everywhere in every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
What is that? What should be that thing I should look up to say, okay, this will stand me out?
Understand your market. You need to understand what market you want to penetrate, because everyone always aims at the upper end or the upper echelons of the market, but that's a very difficult market to satisfy. And your costs to operate at that level are exceptionally high. If you go to the mass market or the lower end of the spectrum, then obviously you don't need to spend that much on your infrastructure. It's a basic service delivery. The mid-market is an interesting one because then you have the flexibility to go both ways, because you can sell a better product and you can sell a mass market product. Where a lot of hotel groups actually do succeed is that they have the generic packages with the add-on packages. And that's pretty much what I'd recommend, is that you have your skeleton packages with the added benefits of what you can provide. And a lot of hotels actually supply those services as third parties. So they have agreements with decor companies, with audiovisual, with entertainment companies. And that's where they distribute the cost to other companies, and they take a smaller profit share, but they don't carry the actual cost.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now let's talk about one issue that has plagued this industry. That's the issue of security.
Yeah.
How well have we been able to tackle that?
You know, security is going to be something that's never going to not be a priority. It has to remain a priority. International, multinational companies will not really feel comfortable within an environment that you don't have the proper security protocols in place. So it's really the responsibility of every management company, hotel company, or hotel owner to really invest in their own security protocols. And again, it comes down to the infrastructure of what's available from a government perspective. We have to look after our own assets. And looking after our own assets allows the international traveler or the regional traveler to actually feel secure to do their business at the properties.
Okay, so now, apart from security, what are the other major challenges that the industry faces?
Power. Power is definitely one of the largest challenges that we have. Purely the fact that the amount of money that we spend on diesel to power generators, the noise, the pollution, these are all aspects that don't add value to the hospitality market. I mean, internationally, the whole hospitality market is looking at green technology, how to become more local, how to become more eco-friendly. And in Nigeria, we tend to forget that the world is not as healthy as it should be, and then we just pumping pollution into the atmosphere by buying more diesel. But this is only one aspect. The other aspect is actually your human capital. Your human capital from an education base needs to become more sustainable. And the unfortunate thing is that hospitality in Nigeria, it's not something that has been treated as a lucrative profession, but it really is. But it needs to start from the very, very basics, from your line staff, and then develop your management programs from there.
Speaking of human capital, you'll agree with me that a lot of hotels that we have here, we do not have great customer service. You start from the reception and you're very disappointed with the behavior of the receptionist. How well do you think we are managing this? How well do you think we're able to walk our way around this? You
know, the interesting thing is that hospitality starts from you. So if you have the ability to be warm to an individual, now I've never met an unfriendly Nigerian. Even the ones that try and take advantage are still very friendly in the way that they do. So
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a huge compliment. But the interesting thing is that it's the process of what happens next. So you have got the warm hello, and then everything falls apart from there. And that's because they haven't invested in the training. There is no certifiable, internationally endorsed hotel school that really puts the correct programs in place. And I think that's something that has to happen for Nigeria to evolve.
Okay, now let's look at the larger scale. How well can we say we are at the stage where we're confident that we have a lot of foreign investors, a lot of people who are willing to be a part of our tourism, a part of our hospitality management, our hospitality industry?
Well, I think there's two answers there. Tourism is definitely going to be built on hospitality, and hospitality can't exist if there is no tourists. So we need to look at it from another angle. If we keep on looking outside of Nigeria to bring in international management companies, instead of looking within Nigeria to develop a truly bespoke Nigerian hospitality model, then Nigeria will become a generic of outside countries. Now, Nigeria has the population, it has the assets, it has the economic pool to draw from. But if we don't maximize that and start to identify on how we can actually become truly Nigerian as a hospitality model, then the tourism industry will never really evolve. Besides that, we need to resolve the corruption issue. We need to resolve the regional security issues, because there's so many beautiful places in Nigeria that don't get exposed because they are deemed unsafe. So we have to go from both ends. We have to look at what makes us truly a Nigerian hospitality market, and what do we expose from that.
So you've given us some of the things that we need to do as a country to push our hospitality industry forward. As a person, an individual, interested in going into hospitality industry, I want to start a hotel. What are the first three things, the first three tips you'll give to me? Be
very strong-minded before going into it, number one. be very certain of your market, and actually stay true to your strategy. Because if you go in blindly, you end up chasing your tail, because you'll keep on thinking that you're doing it the right way, but you're never actually evolving. So whatever you do, identify your market and stay true to the strategy of penetrating that market, but be very strong-minded.
So those are the 3 tips given to us by Anthony Shisher, the MD of Fahrenheit. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going on a quick break. We have entertainment coming up, and Honorable Big Bash is in the building, so stay tuned. The Good Morning Nigeria show continues in a bit.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.